You ever wondered what traveling through Milan, Italy is like? Is one day, 5 days, a week, 2 days good enough? Well, in today's video, Georgiana and I have traveled 2 days through Milan, Italy.
Out of our whole Europe trip, Milan was my favorite. I don't know about you, but it was definitely my favorite. I liked how clean it was. All the food was so good there. And I also liked that it was a city vibe, but on a smaller scale. So kind of comparing like Chicago to Milan as opposed to like New York.
The fashion capital of the world.
Oh yeah.
So if that interests you, join us on our adventure on our 2-day excursion to look at all the food we ate, where we stayed, as well as all the sightseeing tourist items that we saw in Milan.
Be sure to like and subscribe. Transportation.
When traveling abroad, make sure to look at your maps.
Transportation.
No, and go on the right direction because you don't want to be going the opposite way.
So we arrived to Milan after a short flight from Paris and a few little train stops, and we were looking for our Airbnb. Our Airbnb location was pretty perfect. It was only a few blocks away from the local train station, which made traveling very convenient. This was one of the bigger train stations we'd seen with bakeries in it, restaurants, and even shops. We also noticed that the locals were very helpful in helping us find which train we needed to catch for which location we were going to. Here's us arriving to our Airbnb. Funny story, I actually booked it for one person because the price was a little bit cheaper. So here I am holding all of our bags while I go to check in so we didn't look suspicious as coming 2 people to check into a single person apartment. Our Airbnb was called the Bee Village. It was literally steps away from the train station. It was very convenient. Right there you can see the little train station. It was amazing. The staff was very friendly, very helpful, answered all of our questions, gave us recommendations. We were very pleased with the stay. The only thing is don't book for a single person because you only get a twin bed, and that was completely my fault. Thought I'd save a couple bucks and definitely ended up paying for it in the end because the bed wasn't big enough.
So we are approaching the Bee Village, which is marked as the place to be in Milano. And check out just the architecture style of some of these buildings. It looks so amazing. I am just such a big fan. It's the Victorian style. It's so beautiful. What's very convenient though for us is we are going to be next to the Milano Cartona, which is going to be the train station we're going to be traveling in. We actually just came off this train station and did a whole loop around here to just find our villa. But anyways, we are going to be going on that train station tomorrow when we do a day trip to Lake Como in Como, Italy. And after a long day, it's going to be super nice and convenient to just arrive to this train station and walk very close to the place we're staying at. So definitely a very good little spot. And to put it in perspective, a train ticket was about €2 and 20 cents. So very, very affordable. And you can kind of be like a hub here and go wherever we are looking for. So again, being next to that train station in a few days when we leave for Rome, it'll be super convenient for us to kind of continue our travels.
So after we checked into our Airbnb, we went for a walk. We headed down to the Cathedral Square, and as you can see, we're heading straight for the Duomo de Milan. This building was insane. This cathedral is so beautiful. You'll see as we get closer. We didn't get to go inside, but just staring at it from the square is absolutely breathtaking. I absolutely loved Milan. As you can see, the streets were not too overcrowded. There were still a lot of people out, but you could still move around. Not too many tourists. The streets were clean. I felt pretty safe in the environment. Milan is definitely one of my top places to visit in Europe. And there she is, the Duomo de Milano, famous for the contrasting styles of Romanticism and Gothic architecture. We could have gone inside, but we decided to go to the mall instead. I could have stared at this all day, honestly. And you can't go to the fashion capital of the world without going to the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II. It's Italy's oldest active shopping gallery and the major landmark of Milan, opened in 1877. We also learned that there's an old mosaic on the floor of the mall of a bull. You spin your heel on the ball of the bull 3 times, it'll bring you good luck. A bite to eat in the square, which was definitely a tourist trap, but the food was really good, so I don't regret it. Next, we walked to the Santa Maria del Grazie, which is the home of the original Last Supper painting. So we just tried to go in and see what?
The Last Supper by Da Vinci.
and they're sold out until September, which is a month away.
Yeah,
so buy
early
tickets in advance.
Well, you could pay for a tour. You just have to schedule it, and it's like well over 100 euros. So it's basically a pay-to-play scenario. That's what it looks like.
But entry tickets are only 15 euros.
And if you're under 25 or under, it's $2 off. So unfortunately, when I come back, I won't get the discount, my 2 euros. That's
if we ever get in.
It's one of my bucket list items to see The Last Supper, so I'm like really bummed we didn't get to go in. And that's probably my fault for not doing the due diligence, but I don't know, it feels like there's not a lot of people here. And it's like a really, really small building, from what you could tell from the video.
But we're here, just chilling outside. This is the only Last Supper Chris is gonna be seeing for a while. For dinner, we ended up renting and riding a bike down to Navigli Canal District, which is full of a bunch of different restaurants, shops, and just things to do on the canal street. They even had their own little version of a love lock bridge, which was super cute. In the Canal District, it was a lot of locals. They were all enjoying an aperitivo, which is a little meal before dinner that includes meats, cheeses, and a drink.
Full breakdown of our finances of our full Milan stay, starting with our flight from Paris, France, all the way into Milan. It was $272 for the both of us, one-way trip for Georgiana and myself to get to Milan. And then from the Milan airport, it was just a very quick train ride for a couple dollars to get to our hotel, which was very, very convenient. Actually, it wasn't even. No, our train station was directly outside of the airport. Like it was super nice, like super cheap and very close. Okay, so that was the flight, and then $272 for there. And then our night stay, we stayed 2 total nights in Milan. One night we did go, one whole entire day we spent in Lake Como, and then had dinner back in Milan, but we'll talk about that in a future video where we showcase our full Milan to Como stay. So those 2 nights cost us $185 in Milan. Pretty standard, I would say, especially for a very, I would argue, touristy time of year and touristy place. So about $90 here in the US a night. Moving on forward, we next have all of our different food items broken out, as well as transportation. Our food, we spent around $125 for food for the 2 days in Milan. Now, there was a couple meals in Lake Como, but are going to be broken out in a separate video. So if you want to see a full breakdown of our total entire cost of Italy, that'll be in that video in the near future. So moving forward, our metro and transportation. The metro and transportation, we used a few different line items here. This included our train rides to, whether it was multiple cities within Milan, like traversing around, trying to get local, or bike rides on the Lime bikes, which was a whole lot of fun, or on the, on the scooters. Highly recommend it. It's a really fun thing to do. In total, it was around $30, which is very, very cheap in the sense of transportation. We didn't get any taxis. Me and Georgiana actually walked just about everywhere. The Lime bike rides that conducted our trip in just kind of like a tour around the city of Milan, which was extremely fun. So all in all, our 2 days in Milan, excluding the one whole entire day in Como, cost us $608. So I don't know if that's a lot or a little. I would definitely say this is not a very well budgeted trip because we were doing so much in so little time. If you were going to spend there, you can truthfully probably spread out this money so much more across many more days if you were a little bit more frugal and more selective on the things you wanted to do. But again, with the short amount of time that we were going to spend in Milan, it really didn't matter too much of us that we wanted the full experience, that we were willing to pay for things that just made sense. So with that being said, that concludes our full breakdown, and we'll see you in a future video.